Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I've got some IKEA hacks to share with you that are super budget friendly. So if you want to know how to make them, stick around. I'll show you how. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Right, Maxwell?
And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I would love it if you would hit that button.
Okay, for this first one, I'm starting with one of the $14.99 crates that I got at IKEA. Now these are super thick. They're not like the ones that you get at Hobby Lobby or Michael's. These are a real sturdy, heavy duty piece and they're super simple to put together. Okay, this crate comes in a kit. It's got super easy instructions and all you gotta do is put it together with a screwdriver. So there's nothing to it, no special tools required. And it's pretty quick and easy to put together. It only comes in 5 pieces. So all the sides and the bottom and the back and everything like that is completely put together already. You're just screwing the thing together. Next, to kind of seal up the top of this, I'm taking a 5-gallon stir stick and I'm going to cut it straight across the top here, and I'm going to cut one for both sides. That will cover up those pieces of wood that are sticking up and just kind of give it a more finished look. Next, I got these wooden candlestick holders from Hobby Lobby. You get like 5 of them in a pack, and I'm going to use 4 of these on the bottom here, just turning it over, and I'm going to put the flat part on the bottom, and that way I'll have more glue to hold on to that and it'll stay a little bit better. Now you always want to put your glue on first before you paint your piece, otherwise you won't have the strength with the wood touching the wood as you would before. So definitely don't paint it first, put your legs on, and I'm just kind of spacing these out away from that screw so that they do set flat once I turn this over. And I am putting a pretty generous amount of wood glue on here, and then I am going to clean it all up after I have let it set for a second. So do use plenty of glue. You can clean up the excess once it's set. So just take a paper towel and just kind of wipe around the edge, but you want to make sure that you are using plenty of the wood glue. But do not skip this part. You want to make sure that you get the excess off of here, especially if you plan on staining this, because you can't stain over wood glue. And once that's set up for about a minute, I'm flipping it over and I'm going to weight it down with some books until it dries. That's dried. I'm going to attach my 2 pieces of 5-gallon stir sticks that I cut, and I'm just going to use wood glue to attach these. Just put a generous amount on there and then just push it down, and then I am going to come back in with some clamps to clamp this in place, because I do want to make sure that this does set flush and that it is pulled tight. And I'm just going to go on each corner to pull these together and then just let that set until it dries. That dried, I'm going to paint it with some chalk paint in the white Adirondack color. And I'm going to put it in a little dish, you know, so I can just kind of dip into it and then don't spill it like I spilled mine here. But I'm using a sponge to apply this because I do want just a whitewash look on this, not a solid painted finish look. So if you just kind of go real quickly with your sponge, you can just get a nice coating of whitewash and not a solid white. And I'm going to do the inside, the outside, the bottom, and the legs all the same color. And if you paint with these sponges, I'll give you the link for these in the description below. I get them on Amazon. You get quite a few in a pack, but your paint goes on real fast and it goes on real smooth. I highly recommend these. Get into corners and tighter places, you can just grab a sponge brush to do the rest of it. Okay, next I'm going to attach these handles to the side. I got these on Amazon. I'm just coming down about 1 inch from the top, and then I'm just going to eyeball this. I'm just going to mark them with my pencil. Use my nail setting tool to hammer it in so I can drill through these. And I'm going to drill through the whole thing all the way through, and I'm just using a small drill bit on this. You don't have to use a big one at all, because they are little screws, so you really don't need anything but just maybe your smallest drill bit. And I'm just going to hand start my screws right here. And then I'm just going to take a regular hand screwdriver to screw these in, because they are small. You don't want to strip them by using something that has power. And they screwed in real easy, especially when you do a pilot hole. I'm going to add a matching handle to the opposite side. And just make sure you are measuring it so that you do have them matching. So I am coming down 1 inch from the top. Be sure and drill your holes and attach it exactly the same way. Next, I got these vintage rub-ons from Amazon. I'll give you the link for these in the description below. And I'm going to split mine in half, since I am going to put it on the face part of this. And we do have an open in the middle. So you're just going to cut your decal right in half. Just kind of watch what you're doing. Don't cut any off that's not supposed to be cut off. And then I'm applying my top part first, and then I'll apply my bottom part second. And there's a lot of transfers in that same kit. I'll give you the link for those, but I think that these are so pretty. Just kind of line it up real good because you want the decal to kind of come together when you put the other one on. So kind of get as close to the bottom part of that opening, and then just start rubbing it till it comes off. And then you're going to line your second piece as close to that piece as you can, just below that opening. Just kind of make sure you are getting it centered on there. And then do it exactly like you did the other one. Just keep rubbing it until it comes off. These are really good quality. I mean, they came off pretty easy. I mean, you do have to do a little bit of rubbing, but it does stay on. Once you get it on there, it's permanent. Give it a little bit more vintage look. I'm taking some Parisian gray chalk paint and a chip brush, and I'm just lightly distressing this. And I'm going over my decal too, just a little bit. And I'm not doing this heavy like I normally do. I'm just very lightly going over this. And I'm going to go over the entire piece. Okay, then to stage this, I got these two plants at IKEA, and I'm putting both of them inside of here, and I'm just going to kind of spread them out a little bit. And that was pretty much it. Look how pretty that is. Next one, I'm using one of their utensil organizers. It's stainless steel. It's really a good size. It's around 7.5 inches tall, and it's pretty wide as well. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and remove all my labels. I'm just using the heat source to do this so it'll come off real smoothly and it won't leave any residue. Next, I'm just going to wipe it down with some rubbing alcohol to make sure it's completely clean before I paint it. And then I'm going to paint it with a Krylon satin black paint. Next, I'm going to take a 1/2 inch dowel stick. This is a 1/2 inch square. And then I'm going to mark from the very center all the way to the edge, and I'm going to make a mark. And I'm going to cut 4 of these out. And these ended up measuring 2.5 inches each. Take some 220 grit sandpaper, and I'm going to sand all the ends until they're smooth. You don't want to skip on this step. You want to make sure that you do this step. Kind of double check your pieces just to make sure that they do overhang the edges before you start gluing them together. And then to glue these together, I'm going to lay out a piece of freezer paper. You can use wax paper, but it really does help because it doesn't stick the wood to your paper if you are using something like this when you're gluing it. And then go ahead and line up your pieces how they're going to be glued together. Just make sure that you got them together, and then just check your fitment one more time before you start gluing. Make sure that you have overhang on all 4 sides. And then I'm going to glue them together with wood glue. So I'm going to glue them at the end of each piece. I'm going to glue that one there, and then I'm going to remove the other one and glue it together. Then I'm just going to let it lay here until it dries. I'm not going to clamp these. Just make sure you do get them straight, and then just let them set and dry. And then you do want to take some time and get the wood glue that's oozing out off of there. And you can let this set up for about a minute before you do that if you want to. It still will come off there pretty easy. So I'm going to take this outside, and I'm going to spray the inside of this with that same satin black paint. Next, I'm going to make the legs for my little planter. I'm going to take my dowel stick, and I'm going to cut it at 4.5 inches. And I'm going to cut 4 of these exactly the same length. Next, I'm going to line up all 4 pieces. I'm going to come up 2 inches from the bottom. I'm going to draw a line, and then I'm going to take my square and draw a line across all 4 of them together. Taking my nail setting tool, I'm coming right into the center of the line on each one of those and tapping those open. That way I can drill my hole through them without it shifting. Next, I'm just going to drill a hole right through the center of each one of those where I did that nail setting tool. And then I'm going to graduate up to the next size drill bit and re-drill them again. In this way, it'll keep it from splitting. You want to start small and then just go up to the next size. Next, I'm taking a 1/4 inch countersink bit, and I'm going to go through the top part of each one of my pieces of wood. And then I'm going to go up one size up from that to a 3/8 and do it again. I'll give you the link for this kit. It runs about $15. It has several bits in it. But if you don't want your screws to set up above your wood, I would definitely invest in a kit like this. I mean, for $14 or $15, I think you can't go wrong with this kit. Okay, next I'm going to take my base and I clamped it to a piece of wood, and then I'm going to take a nail setting tool and hammer into each one of the leg parts where we're going to attach our legs. And you want to do that with each of them and then drill a little pilot hole so that you can get it right through there without splitting your wood. Always drill a pilot hole when you have thin wood, otherwise you will crack it. And I'm going to do that with each side. To attach these, I'm using a 6 by 1 inch screw, and I'm going to start them through my piece of wood. I'm not going to go all the way through the back yet. I'm just going to get them all started. And then I'm going to take my base and I'm going to clamp it again to attach these. Go ahead and clamp your base again, and then we're going to go ahead and screw our screws on. We're going to use a little bit of wood glue between them so that they won't spin once they're on there. And just set it right on top of there and screw that down. And you're going to do that with all 4 legs. And you want to make sure that you do clamp these, because this will be the difference between getting a tight fit on your screw versus a loose fit. And then do the other 2 legs exactly the same way. Next, to cover up the screw holes, we're just going to take some Minwax color changing wood filler, and we're going to go over the top of each one of these. And you can put this on heavy for right now, and then we're going to come back in and sand it out once we're done. But you want to make sure that you are getting it inside that hole where that screw is, because we're trying to cover those up. And then you're going to let that dry, and when that dries, it'll dry with like a cream colored, and you won't see the purple anymore. That's how you'll know it's dry. Next, I'm going to lightly sand this with some 220 grit sandpaper. Just kind of get it to where it is flat. Next, I'm using some of the antique wax from Waverly, and I'm just using a paper towel to apply this, but then I ended up going back and doing it a little bit different. I did apply a bunch of it with a paintbrush and then went back with a soft rag to kind of blend it in. Next, I'm just attaching some little adhesive felt pieces to the bottom. These are just little round circles. You can get these just about anywhere, and that way it won't scratch up your furniture if you're setting this on like a table or something. Take a little piece of pool noodle, and I got these little twinkle lights from Amazon. They're remote control, and I'm just going to wrap them all the way around my noodle, and then I'm going to stick my controller down into the center. And then I'm going to put this down into the bottom of my flower pot, so at nighttime you can just kind of turn that on. Just kind of put your wires down in there too, just to kind of conceal them a little bit. And then I'm just going to lay it right down into the bottom of my flower pot, and then I'm going to put my plant on top of it. And I'm going to put it into my stand. Pretty simple. Okay, I picked up one of these vases. I really like the texture of this one and the size of it. And the price point came in at $2.99. Okay, and I'm just going to take a heat source to get my label off. This is a really good way to get your labels off. It just pulls them off pretty easily. And I'm going to use 2 of these 3 3/4 inch wooden coasters I got on Amazon. I'll give you the link for them. And then I'm using some of the 1 inch blocks that I got at Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to glue these inside of my vase so that I can glue the vase onto my wooden round. And I'm just using E6000 glue to attach these. Now when you attach them, you need to make sure that they go all the way down to the bottom of the glass, because that's what's going to attach to the wood. And I'm using both E6000 glue and hot glue to attach these. Now you're not going to see these in a little bit. We're going to cover all this up, but this is just how we're going to attach our wood. But make sure it is all the way down to the very bottom of the glass. You want to make sure that there's enough wood there to attach to your wood round. And you definitely want to use the hot glue with the E6000 glue so that your piece will dry, and then the E6000 will set up and make it permanent. And then you're going to put a little bit of glue on each piece there, and some hot glue too, and you're going to attach it to the center of your wood round. Just make sure that you do line it up so you have even amount all the way around. Our other wooden round, we're just going to put some E6000 glue and hot glue on the bottom part of our base, and we're going to glue that down. Just make sure that you push it down so it is flush. And try to make sure that you do get it centered. Okay, next I got this little plastic dessert bowl at Dollar Tree, and I'm going to do the same thing with the wooden rounds to attach it to my piece of wood. Now those are the little dessert cups that come like 6 to a pack. They're plastic, but they're pretty rigid. And you're just going to put your blocks inside of those with E6000 and hot glue, and you want to make sure that they go all the way down to the bottom so that you can glue them to that wood piece. And you can use anything for the top like that. You just need something that's domed. We're making a ginger jar. We're making a replica of a ginger jar. And then when you get those put on, we're going to go ahead and glue that to our other piece of wood, and we're going to center it right on top. And don't worry if you get strings of glue inside there. It's not going to matter because you're not going to see any of this once we get done putting it all together. But just line it up and center it right on top of that piece of wood. Next, I'm taking this 1 1/4 inch bead. It's a bead with a flat bottom. You get them at Hobby Lobby, and I'm just gluing it right into the center. And next, I'm going to wipe the entire thing down with some rubbing alcohol because I am going to paint this. Just don't skip this part because anything that's on there and you paint it, you're going to see it. Okay, then I'm going to paint it with a flat white primer. And you want to do just light coats and then let it dry between times because you don't want any running on this. If you overspray it, you're going to have runs. Next, I'm taking a Minwax color changing wood filler, and I'm going to seal in between this section at the top and the section at the bottom. And that's where we glued those the lid onto, and then we glued the vase onto the wooden rounds. This way it'll be sealed up and you won't see any gap in it. And then once this is dried, it'll turn to a cream color, and that way you'll know that it is dry. But just keep going till you have it completely filled in because you don't want any gap between them, and then clean any excess off with the paper towels. You just kind of really want to make sure that you do have the seam between those two pieces and the bottom piece filled in. And I'm just using my finger and a paper towel. This is just super easy to do. Once it's dried, I'm just going to take a 220 grit sandpaper and kind of lightly go around the edges just to smooth it all out. And this really didn't take that much time. It went pretty fast. You just tried to knock off what's left on there and smooth it out. Okay, next I'm going to use a white Adirondack chalk paint, and I'm going to paint my entire piece. To give it a vintage vibe, I'm taking some folk art French linen chalk paint, and I'm mixing it with a little bit of water just to thin it down a little bit. I'm just applying this with a sea sponge. I'm getting most of the paint off of it, and then I'm just going to dab it all the way around here. Now, I'm going to go fast on this so you can kind of see what I'm doing, but I am putting a pretty heavy coat on this. And you want to get every part of it, including the lid and the little knob at the top. If you don't like the vintage look, you could just paint this a color that you like, or you could even decoupage this piece. Next, to give it a little contrast, I'm coming in with some Waverly Mineral Chalk Paint. Now, I am not going to thin this one down because the consistency was already good. And I'm using the same sponge to apply this, and I'm going to apply this one pretty heavily. I do want a good contrast between the two. Just make sure that you get it pretty even, and then turn your wrist as you're doing it so you don't have the same pattern going the same direction all over the same place. Without adding any more paint to my little sponge, I'm just brushing this on here, kind of like painting it on, and I'm just going up and down on it and over all the ridges. This just gives it a nice color over the top of the whole thing where you can still see all the texture below it. It's kind of just kind of like a wet wash over the top of it, but it does nicely blend it all together. And then where you can't get with your sponge, just get a paintbrush and then just kind of do the same thing. Hey, and that's how that turned out. I think that turned out so pretty. Let me know what you think in the comments. I hope you enjoyed the video today. I hope it gave you some inspiration. If you like these kind of videos, be sure and give me a like, subscribe, and ring that bell to be notified when I have a new video upload. Thank y'all so much for being here with me today. I really appreciate it. And if nobody's told you today, you're awesome. See you next time. Thanks for watching.